All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. It is November 6th on a Monday, new week, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Glad to be with you this morning and every morning. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the YouTube channel. Before we begin, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos. I went ahead and did a video last night. I kind of messed up on it. It was me and Nick on the video. We recorded it right around after the Cowboys game. Yes, after we lost, I was just like, let me just knock out this video watching football all day. So me and Nick did it. Unfortunately, didn't have the audio input on. Unfortunately, after I processed it, put the link up, terrible. And then I get back home, verified that no sound was on, and I had to re-record. I had Nick on the video as well. His Wi-Fi went out at his house, so it was just me. So not the best, not ideal situation in terms of our video, but we got it done. If you are interested in watching, kind of setting up the week, we recapped the week last week as well. Really, really, really great week. Make sure to take a look at that video on our channel as well. That was the most recent one. All right, good morning, all. Dow futures are up 12 points, Nasdaq up about 30 points, S&P up about 7, 43.83, kind of testing that 4,400 level. The Russell 1769 up 0.11%. 10-year Treasury yields are up 4.622%. We're going to watch that carefully. We talked about yields as well. Yesterday's video, volatility index 1536 up 3%. The dollar index is relatively flat, 105.04. We're below 106. That's good. Crude oil is up 81.72 a barrel, up 1.5%. Been noticing sub $3 gas around. $2.23 on gasoline futures, up 1.42%. Gold is back below 2,000 in 1993. Silver futures 23.27, that's flat. Copper starting to bounce, $3.72, up 1%. Euro dollar 107.37, that's flat, but green. Dollar yen 149.81, that's up 41 pips. Been trying to short that thing, but trying to look for a good entry there. Dollar Canadian dollar 136.60. We also have pound dollar 123.87. Bitcoin futures are up this morning 35,355. We do have Mara calls. Those right now, the actual stock is green, $9.67 pre-market. Closed at $9.41 on Friday. We also have Ethereum futures at 1919, up 4.72% this morning. Went over the watch list yesterday. Some of the things I'm watching. Palantir. If we break above 19, I'm looking at the 20 calls. If we got some juice, Tesla as well. I wrote this on the blog. Get me above 229.21. We'll go ahead and take a look at the 240 calls for that gap fill. If you guys are interested in joining our market blog on Discord, it is free for all. Make sure to take a look at the link in the description below. Here we are. We talked about Palantir was not on the watch list, but again, that's a name I'm watching. I talked about it last night. AMD above 113.39, looking at the 115 calls. DraftKings above 34.49. I'm looking at 35.37 strike. And again, we just talked about Tesla. Above 229.21, 230 zone, we're looking at the 240 strike for calls. If we break below 212.41, we're taking a look at the 200 strike. So Palantir is not on there. Let's take a look at AMD. The good news on AMD, Palantir, and DraftKings, all earnings are done. So 113.39 on AMD. We're taking a look at going long at the 115s. DraftKings above 34.49. Again, we're looking at 36 to 37 zone. So we got three stocks we're watching. We have one stock option trade open, which is Mara, and that's where we are. Most of the stuff we went over yesterday, to be honest, team. Let's go and take a look here at Forex Factory, see what's expected to come today. FOMC member Waller speaks. Not a lot. Let me make sure if I can expand this a little bit, see if we can get a little more. Loan officer survey at 2 p.m. tomorrow, not much other than consumer credit and Waller speaking. Today is FOMC member Cook speaking. So not a lot of news or anything like that we can really watch to. We are also taking a look at the rest of the week. We have Powell speaking twice. We have 10-year bond auction. We got some more Fed speakers. I think we got like 14 Fed speakers this week, guys. So it's going to be, a lot of landmines again. I know last week was great. Don't get me wrong. Some good things that happened last week. We got a nice boost. But again, we're going to be careful. We're going to watch the market very, very carefully, keep our risk in check, and just trying to keep that momentum going forward that we've had for the last couple of weeks. And last week itself, we've done very, very well. And again, we don't want to give anything back. Levels to add Roblox. Let's take a look. Yes, in terms of what I'm watching this week, Palantir, DraftKings, and AMD are on my watch list. They're on the blog. I went ahead and typed it up here. That was yesterday around 8. Let's take a look at Roblox. Roblox, again, high beta starting to move. Nothing changed fundamentally with the company, as we know. We do have a gap to fill, and we did talk about that gap pretty often. Around trading at 35.66. That's where you're getting up to. You're probably going to get to around 37. If there's any volume, fine, we'll take a look at it. But that's pretty much where you're going to go. And then you also have a gap to fill here at 32.15. If we expand this, all you're doing here, Thomas, is you're stuck in a range, unfortunately. I'm all about getting the action too, boss. Don't get me wrong. But we got to get out of this funk. You got to get me above 47 before we can even have a discussion about some more further upside for this company, Roblox. What could it take? We need some earnings to pop off for them. We need some good news to pop up for them. We need high betas to move higher within this sector. We need rates to go lower. So you can see that it's continuing to go higher on Roblox, fine, but again, still stuck in a major range. Really can't do much, really, unless you're playing that gap fill here from the previous earnings right around 37. I don't know if they report this week. Let's take a look. Earnings calendar here. Guys, we got everything for you here on the Discord server. So much easier to just take a look. Roblox reports this week. So that IB is going to be juiced. So be careful. You got two gaps here. That's a flip of a coin. You got here at 37, and you got the down here right around 32. You're trading right around 35.51. You're right in the midpoint. Best to just wait for earnings, man. That's the best thing. Thoughts on Dish after earnings? Yeah, Dish fell as well. I think they have the CEO stepped down. Not a good look. Let's be real. Who uses streaming? Who uses a satellite dish anymore? Really, this is a dying industry. Streamers are losing money. So, really, other than Netflix, Amazon and Apple don't depend their money based on their streaming services. Netflix pretty much head and shoulders above the rest, probably the one that no one wants to cancel. Disney possibly, because they also have ESPN. But Dish Network, again, they're paying for sports. They're paying for all this content. And who really uses a satellite dish anymore? Right now, we change the dynamic in terms of content consumption, because now you can pick and choose what you want. You could do a Sling TV, you could do a football TV. Football TV had a great quarter. Netflix had a great quarter, but Dish Network, they're just a satellite provider. This is very similar to AT&T landline service, MCI, Sprint, paying for long distance. If you guys remember, I'm a kid of the 80s, man. I was born in 85. My birthday's next week. I'm turning 38. So I remember landlines, rotary phones, answering machines, all that. Caller ID, you'd have to pay for that. The thing with innovation and economics is that they go hand in hand with change. Dish is a dying industry. Let's be honest. Satellite dishes. It's kind of like Kodak back in the day. Who's going to buy actual film when you have a digital cameras now? So I would stay away from Dish. Again, if you're looking at it, it's just for a trade. I don't like it long term at all. I think you're better served with other content creators who have a little more control and they have more pricing power, like a Netflix, like a Disney, like a Hulu, which is now owned by Disney. I think they're buying the rest from Comcast. Those kind of names, yes, those are the streamers you want to focus on. This is just a satellite provider. To me, if you're buying a satellite provider, it's like you're buying a landline for your phone. You can if you want, but it's not really necessary. Morning, Carlos. Thoughts on AAL? Looks like it's starting to break out of that descending trend line. Let's do it. Top of the morning, Envy. Top of the morning. Let's take a look here on American Airlines. Yeah, you can see that. Look at that. Pretty much that 20, right? That 20-day moving average. You got it back above. We got a break here. We got a gap here. All right, so what we want to do is place an alert above the 50-day. And if we do, 1276, we'll do that. And we'll go ahead and fill this gap here at 14. That'll be the target. So that's what we're looking for, guys. We're looking for this gap to fill here at 1407. I'll place an alert as well. So let's get above 1276. Let's see if we could settle above that, and then we could target the 14 calls. Let me go through my list and see if these are the names that have worked for us. I talked about this yesterday. We did not trade AAL this year, but we have traded DAL. So we're more into Delta Airlines, trading it 2 for 2 this year. Again, what I like to do is every stock that I'm looking at from now on, since now we're in November, let's take a look at our list of how we've traded it. Have we done well? Let's focus on the green shaded If you notice, Palantir, AMD, and DraftKings were 80% this year. Palantir were 91% this year. AMD, we haven't even lost an AMD trade. Tesla, 90% this year in terms of our win-loss. So let's focus on the actual charts that have been working for us that we know. And again, kind of ignore the Boeings, the Apples, the Metas, the JPMs, the Babas. SPY, I mean, we could do S&P futures, IWM and Disney, Hood, Nike, XLE, XM, and UPS. Forget them. If it's all here, let's focus on the green. We haven't traded AAL yet, so we're not going to put that on the list of we're not going to trade it. But again, 1276 is what I'm looking for. Let's take a look at DAL. Let's pivot now. DAL, is there anything here that kind of gives us maybe some edge? Looking at it here, very similar price action to AAL. You have that 20-day where it comes down, same sector, airline industry. But is there anything here that stands out that, yeah, we could trade this? Probably if you get above 34.48, maybe you could target the 50-day. That'd be nice, but that's probably the only one. You do have a gap to fill at 40. So I do like DAL, but we need some more breaks. I think AAL is the better looking chart for more upside is what I'm seeing. We will see what we get on that one. All right, looking at Mara, we're now trading at 967. So premium members and masterclass and basic, if you're watching, if you have Mara, we're looking for 1020. We need to get a 1020. That'll get us in the money. That should get us at a profit target. Take your profits there around the 10 to 1020 area. Leave a runner for earnings on Wednesday, same day as Roblox as well. We were just talking about that. But Wednesday, earnings after the bell, we want to get out of that. I went ahead and placed a note on that on the watch list and charts channel, kind of preparing everybody. But as of right now, that is the only risk on the board. What we're watching is DraftKings, AMD, Palantir, Tesla. Those are the four horsemen I'm watching, of course, Mara. So we want to focus on the names that have done well. DraftKings has done exceptionally well in terms of relative strength. Palantir as well. Those are the high betas. The high betas are the ones that have been short squeezed the most. Palantir had great earnings. DraftKings raised guidance. AMD, decent earnings. Not the best, but again, semiconductors doing well. So again, it's a little cheaper than an NVIDIA. I like AMD. We've done well with it. So I think we just kind of stick with what works, guys. So we'll go and leave it there, guys. I know it was a kind of a short video. I went over a lot of things yesterday as well. So pretty quiet in terms of the headlines for the day. Citibank is laying off some employees, about 10% of them. But I don't know any more details than that. As they come in, we will take a look at it. Let's take a look at QQQ this morning. We do have a a trend line to break out of. You need to get above 372.13. I have an alert at 375.07 for continuation to the 380s. That's what I'm looking for. So again, 375, let's break that. If we do, that is that very clean trend line. We're above the 100. We need to get above 375.07, not 372, 375 to target the 380 calls. We'll go back to our chart. How have we done on Qs? 91% this year. So we've done very well. 10 out of 11 QQQ trades, we profited. That's great. And one of them was a hedge for CPI. So we've done very well with Qs. Let's keep that momentum. We're going to take a look at 375 for that break. Stick with that. If we're looking for downside, we're looking below 350 to around 353 right here in this support zone, which we bounced above. So very, very good stuff. I'm very excited for today. It is a new week. Let's keep the November momentum moving forward, and we'll see what we get. Have a great rest of your morning. I will catch you guys in the blog as always. Thanks again for your time. We will see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.